Okay, hello Cloud Gurus and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we're going to go in and set up our Amazon machine images, and we're going to have two images. So we're going to have two URLs here. We're going to have our write.hellocloudgurus.com, and that's where our content team will go to add new blog articles, upload media assets, etc. We're going to have our normal naked domain name, which is just hellocloudgurus.com. That's going to be our web servers, and that's where our customers are going to go to view our content. So we're going to go in and create two AMIs, one for each, and then in the next lecture, what we're going to do is put them behind auto-scaling groups. So you need to log into the AWS console. Okay, so I'm here in the AWS console. Let's go over to EC2, and then I want to go and have a look at my load balancers. So actually go down to target groups. And in here, we can see the target is our little EC2 web server. Now, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and create two different groups of web servers. One is going to be just a web server that our content team goes into and creates new blog articles. And then we're going to have a whole bunch of clone web servers that essentially download the changes that they make to our code and then serve that out to our customers. So right now, our DNS hellocloudgurus.com points to our application load balancer, which then points to the registered instances in this. So what we want to do is we want to remove this from our target group, from our application load balancer. So to do that, we click on the edit button. We go in here, click here, and go ahead and hit remove. Go ahead and hit save. Okay, so that has saved it. Now we want to go in and create a new load balancer, and I'll show you why in a second, but we're just going to use a classic load balancer. Go ahead and hit continue, and we're just going to call this my write ELB. So we're going to write things to this. We're going to leave everything else as default. Assign security groups. Let's put this in our web DMZ. Go ahead and hit next. Go ahead and hit configure our health checks. Again, our response, we're going to change our unhealthy threshold and our healthy threshold. So we'll do it for 2 and 3, and we'll do an interval of, let's say, 6 seconds. So go ahead and hit next. Going to add our EC2 instances. So we're going to add this into our EC2 instances. Next, we'll add our tag. We'll just call this name, and then the value is my write ELB. Go ahead and hit review and create. We'll go ahead and create it. Now, you might be wondering, why are we doing this if we're only going to have one EC2 instance that our content team is going to go in and upload new photos or new articles to? Why do we need this behind a load balancer? Well, let's go over to instances and have a look. So here is our EC2 instance right now. Here's its public IP4 address. It's .196 is what it ends in. Let's go ahead and just stop this instance. We're not going to terminate it, but we are going to go in and stop it. And I'm just going to pause the video while this instance stops. Okay, so I've stopped my instance, and you'll see here my IP4 address has gone. Now, if I was to start this again, I would get a new IP4 address. And there's two ways we can solve this as being a problem. We can go in and create an elastic IP address, so we always own that IP address, or we can just put this instance behind a load balancer and use the DNS name. So what I want to do is every time my content team goes to create a new blog article, I want them to go to write.hellocloudgurus.com, and then they'll be able to access this EC2 instance that has all our cron jobs running on it, that pushes all the changes up to S3. So what we need to do is go over to Route 53, and we'll just go ahead and quickly set this up. So let's go down to Route 53, and we'll go into our hosted zone, and we'll go into Hello Cloud Gurus, and I'm just going to create a record set. It's going to be called write.hellocloudgurus. We're going to have this as an alias, so we're going to hit yes. I'm going to click in here, and we're going to add our classic load balancer that we just created. And sometimes it can take a little while to load your targets. So I'm just going to pause the video again. And so here we go. It was my write ELB. I'm going to click that in there, and I'm going to go and leave everything else as default and create this. Now, when our content team go to write.hellocloudgurus.com, that's going to go over to our classic load balancer, which is going to have our EC2 instance behind it. We could have also provisioned an elastic IP address and just done that as an A record without using an alias. It's entirely up to you the way you want to do it. So let's go back over to our EC2 instance, which has now been stopped. And what we want to do is we're just going to go in, while it has been stopped, we may as well take advantage of this, and we'll go ahead and we're going to create an image of this EC2 instance. And I'm going to call this EC2 instance image name my WordPress write image. And I'm going to keep the same description. So this is the image of our EC2 instance that our content team will go and create new blog articles, new media assets to, etc. So that is going to go through and create a new AMI of that image. I'm going to pause the video. If we click in here, we might be able to see it pending. Yeah, there it is. So I'm just going to pause the video while this image is being created. Once it's done, we'll go back over to EC2 and we'll start that EC2 instance. Okay, so that image is now available. Let's go back over to our EC2 dashboard and let's go ahead and fire this one back up. So we'll go instance state and we're going to start it and hit yes. And now we're going to wait for this to come back into service, but we should be able to resolve this once it's up by going to write.hellocloudgurus.com. So let's just wait for this instance to come back up. Okay, so that instance has now come back up. If I click in here and I go to write.hellocloudgurus.com, you'll see that it does load, but it doesn't load very well and all the CSS is off. And if I scroll all the way down and I want to try and log in, it's just pointing me back to hellocloudgurus.com. And even if I go up here and manipulate the URL so that it's write.hellocloudgurus.com and I try and log in, so let's try this, acloudguru, it's just going to redirect me back to the old URL. So the way we fix this is very, very simple. We just go into EC2, we go back to our target groups, and we're just going to add this back in to our load balancers targets. So we go into target here, go into edit, and we're going to click here, add to registered instances, go ahead and hit save. Now it'll take a little, can take a couple of minutes for it to pass the health check. So let's just go into health check here. And sorry, let's go back to our targets. So right now it's initializing. If we go back and just do a refresh, eventually we should be able to see it. So here we go, acloudguru, and we can log in. And there we go. So now we are logging in using this DNS name. And what we want to do is just go into settings and update our DNS name. So the WordPress address is no longer going to be hellocloudgurus.com. It's going to be write.hellocloudgurus.com. And we want to change the site URL as well. So it's going to be write.hellocloudgurus.com. So then we can go ahead and hit save our changes. That's going to now save it. And you can see here, it's changed the URL. We go to acloudguru here and then just type in our password, which is acloudguru. We can see now that we are logging in using the write.hellocloudgurus.com. Let's go back now and remove this from our target group. So we go ahead and click in here and go ahead and click remove, go ahead and hit save. And now we have our EC2 instance using write.hellocloudgurus.com. And we've updated the DNS entries within WordPress itself. Okay, so now that we've done all that, we're going to create a new EC2 instance. And we're going to do this from the image that we just created. So if we go over to our AMIs and click in here, I'm going to go ahead and hit launch. And I'm going to use a T2 micro, go ahead and hit next. And then I'm going to use the S3 admin access role, which we definitely do need. I'm going to leave everything else as default and hit next. Go ahead and hit next. I'm going to add a tag. So the name for this instance is going to be, this is our WordPress, and this is going to be our primary or production web server. So prod web and then server. Go ahead and hit next. We're going to put this into our security group, our WebDMZ security group, hit review and launch, and we'll go ahead and launch this instance, and then I'm going to use the same key pair. So now we've got another instance that is launching, and so this one here, my EC2 web server, this is the one that we're going to be using for our content team to make changes to. You might even want to rename it so that it's cleaner. So instead of, we might just call this WordPress and then content team, content, and then hyphen team, Oops, there we go. And so now it's very clear for us that the content team use this one to do the updates to, and then our other team is going to use this one as our production web server. So the next thing that we need to do is we're going to need to SSH into this, and we're going to need to update cron so that it doesn't push changes up to S3. Instead, it's going to download the changes. So let's go ahead and grab our public IP address and SSH into this EC2 instance. Okay, so I'm in my terminal window. I'm just going to remember my key pair. So it's SSH EC2 -user and then at my public IP address, and then it's and then it's my EC2 Northern Virginia.pem. Going to go ahead and hit enter. I'm going to hit yes, and so it's added it to my list of known hosts. I'm going to elevate my privileges to root, and I'm going to clear the screen. Now if we go over to our etc directory and we nano our cron tab, so nano cron tab, we can see in here, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, our two commands. Now we want to go through and delete these because this is going to be our production web server. It's not going to be the server that our content team is going to be making writes to. So what we want this new command to do is we want it to download the contents of our S3 bucket and also our media assets as well. So I'm just going to save this and come out. So we'll just save this as a blank. So just go in and save, hit yes, and hit enter. So now we've updated cron tab and we've removed that. Let's go over to our var www.html directory, HTML, and we'll just clear the screen and we'll do an ls. So here is all our code. Now what we want to do is make sure that anything in our S3, our two S3 buckets, so in our code bucket as well as in our media bucket, this EC2 instance will be a perfect mirror of that. So if there's any changes to those S3 buckets, that will then, using cron tab, we will sync those changes back down. So it's actually the exact opposite command. So what we need to do is we need to run AWS S3 and then sync, and then we are going to make sure it's an exact copy. So we're going to, it's not just new files, but it's also deleted files. And then we're going to sync our S3 bucket. So it's S3 and then hyphen, and then my bucket name was A Cloud Guru hyphen, and then it was WP code 2017. And I'm going to sync that to my var www HTML directory, and I can just do a dry run just to make sure that, that's not going to do anything. So right now it is a perfect copy, which is great. The other command that we want to run is going to be AWS S3 and then sync, and then it's going to be delete because we want it to be a perfect copy, and then it's going to be S3, and then it's the bucket A Cloud Guru, and then WP Media 2017. And then that's going to go to our var www HTML, and then it's our WP content, and then it's our uploads directory. And then we can again do a dry run to see if that is going to do anything, which it is not. So those two commands are what we want to copy into our cron tab. So let's go back over to the etc directory, nano our cron tab, and in here, and let's go down all the way to the bottom. And so let's say we want our web servers to update themselves, let's say every 5 minutes as well. So we'll do a wildcard, divide by 5, then we'll do wildcard, 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 and then we want to do this at the root, and then we're going to do that command. So it's AWS S3, and then it was sync, and then we want to use the delete marker, and then it's going to be our bucket URL. So it's S3 A Cloud Guru, and then hyphen WP code 2017. And we want that to sync to our var www HTML directory. And then the other one we want to do is our media assets. So we'll go star, 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 star. We'll do this every 5 minutes. Root AWS S3. We want to sync, delete, and then S3. And then it's our media assets bucket. So it's A Cloud Guru hyphen WP Media 2017. Then we want that to go to our var www HTML directory, then /WP hyphen content, and then uploads. uploads. Okay, so let's save that and hit enter, and there we go. And the way we would test this is by updating some content to the, to the write.hellocloudgurus.com, and then seeing if that content is automatically replicated to this production web server. So let's go back over to our browser. Okay, so I'm at write.hellocloudgurus.com. I'm going to log into the dashboard, and I'm going to go ahead and add another media asset. And I'm going to go in and just upload a photo from Serverless Conf London. So Serverless Conf. Here we go. Now again, it's going to take a little while for the DNS to propagate out to CloudFront. It's probably going to take 5-10 minutes. That's why this thumbnail looks like it's disappeared. But while we wait for that, let's go ahead and add a new post. So the new post will be, this is my second blog. And here we'll write, hello Cloud Gurus, smiley face. And then we can add in our media. So let's add in some Serverless Conf pictures. So we're going to add in all three. Again, the propagation is going to take some time. You can see it there. So let's go ahead and hit publish, and we'll go ahead and it's now publishing, hit update, or we don't need to hit update again because we've already published, but we will now have a second blog. If we click in here, you'll be able to see it. So this is my second blog. So while I'm waiting for the CloudFront DNS to propagate, I am just going to go back over to my EC2 console. And with my WP production, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into my load balancing group. So go into target groups. We've got my web servers target group in here, but we have no instances registered. So now we're going to go in and we're going to put this one in, and we're going to go ahead and click add to registered. We're going to go in and click save. Again, it's got a health check that it's got to go and pass, but we have that healthy.html on there. So now we've got essentially two DNS addresses. We've got the write.hellocloudgurus.com, and then we've just got hellocloudgurus.com. And with the write.hellocloudgurus.com, we go there to make our changes. Those changes will replicate automatically up to S3. We then have our production web servers, which is behind our application load balancer, and we have a cron job on there that's constantly saying every 5 minutes to do a sync from those S3 buckets down to our production web server. So you'll note the time up here, it's now 2:44 p.m. I'm going to give this exactly around 10 minutes to propagate. Okay, so now it's just been over 10 minutes, it's now 2:57. I hit refresh, scroll down, and there we go. We can see the new image is there. So this is on the write.hellocloudgurus.com site. Let's remove the write and just go straight to hellocloudgurus.com, and it should hopefully have propagated over, and there you go. So this is another EC2 instance. It's a brand new article, and this is going to be our read-only instance, and it's going to be our production web server. So it has all propagated across. The very last thing we need to do now that we've got our EC2 instance set up, our production web server, let's go ahead and just quickly stop this and then take an image of it. So I'm just going to go instance state and then stop. Go ahead and hit stop. And then once this is stopped, I'm going to take an AMI of it, and then we are going to start configuring our auto-scaling groups. Okay, so our EC2 instance has now stopped. Let's go ahead and go actions, and let's go over to image, and we're going to create an image of it. The image name is my prod web server. I'm going to copy and paste this as well, my prod web server. Go ahead and hit create image, and that is now creating. If we go over and click on AMIs, it is now creating the image, and I'm just going to pause the video and wait for this to come back up. Okay, so that image is now available. So that ends this lecture, guys. In the next lecture, what we're going to do is we're going to go in and configure auto-scaling groups with our new images. We're then going to go in and try and stress test our EC2 instances and watch auto-scaling respond to those stress tests. And then I'm going to go through and just start deleting stuff and see what happens. So if you've got the time, join me in the next lecture. Thank you.